All right, there's this uplift. Your highest good, and I trust that it found you at the perfect time. I really appreciate you being here with me in this moment, and as always, I love you so, so much, and I am so, so proud of you. We do timeless readings here, and you don't have to force the story to resonate. Guys, this energy, you know what this energy is? It is we are so friggin' back energy. Okay, I'm talking about inner child. All right, there's this uplifting, there's just this vitality, there's this friggin' electricity, right? We are so back. And if you're not really feeling that right now, it's okay. I feel like it's just around the corner for you, right? Things could change on a dime. So, that being said, that's the energy that I'm getting. I can tell this is going to be like a pretty fun reading already, right? Because there's some things that I want to get off my chest here. Not, not really that though. More so just things that I'm inspired to say. Although there might be something about getting something off your chest here. Speaking from the heart. The lungs might be significant. Okay, breath work. And that sort of thing. But anyway, I'm here to talk about creativity today. And I feel like I'm talking to a collective that is insanely creative. This is like wild dreamer, abstract thoughts and imagination. Like, this collective will get friggin' weird. And I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. And you know, the etymological root of the word weird means to control one's own destiny. So next time somebody tells you that they think you're weird, you just say, thank you very much. I appreciate that, right? And to that point, I will say, even if you are more like left-brained, let's say you're like an engineer or you're an architect or you're a chess player or something, there's still an art to what you do. You're still a creative person, right? Nobody does it quite like you, and there's room for you to add your own kind of flavor to the equation. This reading that I'm getting right now is more about that real abstract sense of creativity, and I feel like I'm talking to somebody that can just create worlds in their own mind. You can just sit and daydream and create your own universe. And maybe you've had some life experiences that were really challenging at times, but actually in some kind of way they supported this creativity because they pushed you inward. And I'm really inspired to like talk about video games for a second here. And this reading might move in and out of like my own personal perspective, because sometimes it's a bit easier for me to deliver the message from my own personal vantage point. As somebody who really loves video games and grew up on them, and what I feel inspired to say right now is that you guys may or may not be aware of this, but Donkey Kong 64 has now landed on the Switch. It's now possible to play Donkey Kong 64 on the Nintendo Switch. And what I have to say about that is that I consider myself to be a pretty consistent YouTube creator. I'm here pretty much every day, on time, on schedule. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty consistent. But if there's anything in this world that is going to disrupt the schedule, it's going to be Donkey Kong 64. I'm just going to say it. So that's there now, okay? The childhood game is back. And it's really funny. And there's a reason why. Just bear with me, all right? If you don't like video games, I did get a comment last time I did this. I got a comment like, I just don't care for them. I don't like the jargon. Not interested. That's totally amazing and okay. You just might not be for you, this reading. I'm just giving you a heads up. So I saw a clip of this game, Donkey Kong 64, a few weeks ago. I could sense the arrival of this drop. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to be time soon, and here we are. I saw a clip of this game a few weeks ago, and I was talking to a friend about it because of how hilarious it was. It really struck me. It really got me thinking about stuff, because And I'll outline what I saw really quickly. I don't want to ramble on too long, but so the clip begins, and of course we are the man himself, Donkey Kong, running around doing all sorts of monkey business. There's like enemies and stuff. It's a platformer game, so you got to run around, evade, and make contact with enemies. And there's certain collectibles and level progression and that sort of thing, just making your way through the game. So Donkey Kong's running around doing his thing. He's like, there's an enemy there, you gotta smack it, it's a beaver, and the beaver drops a watermelon. Okay, well, we're talking about watermelons now. Okay, so the health bar is watermelons, okay, and now there's a bee flying through the air, and we pull out the coconut gun and shoot the bee out of the air, and then it's like, okay, so we've got coconut guns now. Kill another guy and he drops blueprint. Oh, okay, what's the blueprint for? And then he runs over, Donkey Kong pulls this lever, activates a switch, runs back to a barrel, jumps in, becomes a different monkey, becomes a different Kong, Diddy Kong this time. Okay, and then Diddy Kong runs up the stairs that opened up and he pulls out, he starts playing the guitar. And he's a monkey. And I just watched this, and all of this happened within the space of about a minute. And I just laughed. Because obviously, like I said, I played the game. It was my childhood. But it really hit me how abstract that game was. Oh, by the way, in amongst all of this, all right, Donkey Kong pulls out a camera and takes a photo of a fairy that's flying around. It's got it all. It's got everything. And it was making me laugh because, yes, it's so abstract. And I thought back to me being 7 years old, playing this game, and just thinking nothing of it. Didn't think anything of it. I'm just playing, and I'm just like, oh yeah, seems normal. Everything's fine here. It's just monkeys doing what monkeys do, right? I just had no idea, but like I knew reality, but that abstract world, it's its own universe, and it's so bizarre. I just didn't think anything of it. And it's not, and seeing that clip, it got me thinking about all sorts of things, right? Like the hours and hours spent watching Ed, and Eddie. It's like the world's weirdest, so bizarre. Dexter's Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I was a Cartoon Network guy. And I was thinking about like how abstract this material was and how it really would have just... And probably on a soul level here, in terms of like my frequency, I was open to just being in that space, which is why I was aligned with it. And it's been part of my life here, is to be somebody who has that kind of access to like wild and abstract creativity and imagination. But I just thought about how much that would have like fed me as a kid and opened me up to different ways of thinking and being, and just these weird abstract possibilities. And it's a beautiful thing. And there's been a bit of a complex relationship with something like video games growing up, because there was so much messaging that I was getting, information being fed to me, saying, okay, well, video games are bad, they're a waste of time, they're a distraction, we'll let the kid be a kid for a little while, but now my own worrying about everything else that's going on is... So you know what I mean? It's just like it became this safe, sacred space that was not really... I was constantly being fed this message that there was like no value in it, and I don't hold any resentment towards anyone in my past. It's fine. I understand. Like, people are just functioning in the way that what they're conscious of. It's fine, right? But I've had to learn to see the value in these things again. And I spent long periods of time like not playing video games, not reading, as a kid, like, and this is in my early adulthood, I kind of put a lot of that stuff down so that I could be more serious, build my business, my career. What am I doing with my life? Despite me having such a deep and loving connection to the world of fantasy and magic and, the kinds of books that I would read. And I've had to, as an adult, really make contact with that stuff again. And as I surrender to my relationship with these things and the love that I have towards these things, it has just opened me up, like in my own professional career and in all sorts of ways. It's been so nourishing, so supportive, so inspiring. And there's so many different things that I create now from that place of relaxing into some other world and just allowing myself to enjoy some kind of abstract creation, or just giving myself permission to relax and daydream and vision things and think about things and just allow my mind to go into all of these different spaces. And if this reading is in the process of resonating with you guys, like this is one of your superpowers, this can be your medicine to the world, right? Whether there's a pursuit to make it a career and get paid for it or not, you know, it doesn't matter. It's in your life for a reason. You have these tendencies and this connection to your imagination and the world of fantasy for a reason. And it's here to support you and it's here to inspire you. And there's something about that here. We're going to unpack it. We're going to talk about it in this reading. And maybe you're somebody who would, again, like, spend time in these worlds because of the escapism, right? And it felt like such a safe place. And again, that's a beautiful thing. And it serves a beautiful purpose. And maybe you've had to spend a lot of time on the other side of the spectrum working with the energy of like the pentacle, like learning how money works, learning how to create more stability for yourself, working on your nervous system, maybe working on relaxing into your physiology and your somatic experience because it didn't always feel safe. Maybe you've been healing your self-concepts because you might notice at times where we would feel a little bit self-conscious or a bit hyper-aware of ourselves when our creativity and our imagination did go to these amazing vast places. Maybe you would catch yourself becoming hyper-aware of yourself and then getting in your head about it. And then you kind of lose that. You lose the connection point. Somebody's cultivating a deeper relationship, a wider channel with their creative essence and their imagination, which is a tool to support you in some kind of way. It's here to do something for you. So what is that? What is that? It's about because this is you now seeing your unique beauty, like seeing how special and valuable and important you are, you know, as a dreamer. That's the medicine for what's been healing this kind of self-consciousness energy. But I want to know, like, what's the fantasy? What's the imagination? What is it doing for this collective at this time? How is it here to support this collective? I'm seeing orange. Orange cars might be significant. Sacral chakra. And the car being movement, travel. It's the way that we navigate and move through the world. Again, I also see the car as somewhat connected to our physical body and our emotional body as well. But that's a conversation for another day. The chariot card might be significant here for some of you. So your imagination and your creativity helps you to recognize what is aligned and what is not aligned in your life. With this card that says, align your life. All right, so it's helping you with your alignment. There's something about the things that you dream and the way that you feel about these things. It ignites something in you. You might be a fire sign, or your fire placements are significant at this time. I'm also getting Pisces, Scorpio energy, so there might be something about like Mars, right? Aries, Scorpio. I'm also getting Aquarius. Doesn't have to be these signs, but it's giving me these kinds of energies where it's about your ability to visualize, to dream, to go to places that other people, they just can't access it because they're not friggin' weird enough. They don't got it. They don't got the source, right? There's something about this is your superpower here, and it's about your ability to visualize, daydream, expand in your mind's eye, and it's about the way that you feel in your body when you're doing this. It helps you cultivate a sense of alignment in your life. Again, even if you're not somebody who is trying to get paid for their creativity, I think many of you are, but even if you're not, there's something about this connection that you have to your imagination that just helps you navigate life in some kind of way here. And on the bottom of the deck, I get you're already doing it. Stop overthinking and keep facing your true north, right? So we're very aligned here with this idea that this dreamer energy is closer to your natural essence and your soul sense of self. It supports you on your path. It helps you feel into your sense of alignment, and it acts as like magnetic device or something. It acts as some kind of magnet, and it draws you towards certain things. And we can get in our own way when we start to overthink, overanalyze, worry, compare ourselves to other people, right? And again, it's like these are all mental tools and techniques that we can use that are not inherently bad, but you can notice where things get out of balance and they create some kind of unhealthy conflict in your ability to use your imagination. They're giving me something about mentorship here as well. There may be a relationship with a mentor or somebody that you would consider to be like an influence or something, a positive influence, somebody that you learn from. And you might see how beautiful and valuable and helpful they've been in your life, but there might be some points of we're not the same. Our process is not exactly the same. I can continue to work with and learn from this person, and it's not about, it's kind of this thing of this energy of, I'm looking at this person, I still have a lot to learn from them potentially. They still have a lot of knowledge to offer, but there are some points of difference where I also need to feel comfortable trusting myself and my own intuition and my own creative tendencies. That's the way that they're giving it to me. There's something about preference. I feel like there's something about mentorship or just taking information from the outside, learning knowledge from books or videos, courses, whatever the case may be, and trusting that while it's good to take that knowledge, it's also good to stay connected to your own creative preferences and tendencies because your process might not match their process. There's something about that here. Okay, let's get a little bit more information here. As I split the deck on the Boss's Way, which is a card about authority. So it's like you're stepping into your own authority the more that you cultivate self-acceptance as somebody who is incredibly imaginative, and your wild sense of creativity and fantasy, it might even challenge certain people or challenge certain social norms or structures or the existing way of doing things. And that's why this message about the mentor is coming through, because it's like you're stepping more into your own sense of personal authority and agency as somebody who is always going to be the student and is always open to learning more. But it's like you're seeing your value. It's like you're seeing that you have a lot to offer, and it's actually not just safe, but encouraged to follow your own threads of intuition and imagination here. I also saw the Dratini as I split the decks. You might be feeling some kind of Kundalini energy moving through your body. I'm also getting this fantasy idea again, bringing me into the energy of dragons being significant here. Elder Scrolls. Okay, so now they're pulling me into some kind of ancient knowledge here. Akashic records. The imagination, I will quickly say rainbows might be significant at this time. The imagination acting as a bridge between you and the space of all that is. The infinite field of potential where all possibilities exist. Your imagination is a channel to that place. So let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. And it's like you're stabilizing that connection as I see the pillars here. And the more that you stabilize this, potentially by prioritizing your health, your peace, a sacred space where you have the time and the quiet and this kind of really supportive environment where you can just dream. You know, prioritizing these things, prioritizing the structure in your life is going to act as a foundational point for you to continue to dream up new possibilities. And they're giving me something about this guidance system here. Again, what is aligned and what is not aligned. This is a superpower for you. So somebody's taking their imagination quite seriously. And you're just going to see more and more of a flow of this creative energy, the more that you create a sacred foundation for this. Health is really big, guys. Clarity of mind, feeling like you can settle into your nervous system. I'm just going to throw this out there. It might not, it's just to get you thinking a certain way, right? I was having trouble sleeping lately and I was feeling very restless, and I amped up the amount of, again, this is not personalized advice, it's just to get you thinking somewhere about diet and physiology. I was feeling very restless, and so then I looked, and I'm somebody who considers myself to eat very clean and very well, but just through really looking at it, I started eating more fats, avocados, walnuts, supplementing with like a little bit of coconut oil, yogurt, right? That kind of stuff, coconut yogurt. And it really calmed my nervous system and my physiology. So this is an example of how that energy of the pentacles, the energy of reality, our physical body, we can turn our attention towards these things and use them as a platform to support our creativity. They're also giving me this idea of a touchstone, maybe a particular gem or a piece of jewelry that you can infuse your energy and attention and your intention into that touchstone, which will remind you of maybe a certain event in your life, a certain childhood experience that was very exciting and was in alignment with this sense of creativity and imagination, something that helps you feel relief. Spirit is saying you can take an experience that got you feeling this way and spend some time sending that energy into a particular crystal or an object or a piece of jewelry or like a little R2-D2 figurine or something, anything. Use it as a touchstone to help you energetically come back to that space. And they're bringing me into, you're already doing it, guys. You're intuitively doing these kinds of things already. So it's about seeing the value in the way that you're already moving right now. And maybe if you've spent a lot of time in your imagination or in these whimsical, fantastical worlds, coming back into the present moment and the stillness and the somatic experience can create a bit of that restlessness. So maybe you're somebody who's had to really learn patience, letting things unfold, slowing down, because sometimes we're doing all the right things. We're facing the true north. We're already doing it. But it's the restlessness and the impatience it's the restlessness and the impatience that creates that mental conflict, and then we overfunction and we get in our own way. So somebody here's been working on patience. Okay. So I got the Professor Oakman. All right. The professor. He's been in the lab. Somebody's been in the lab. I'm just saying it. Someone's been in Dexter's lab, all right? And that's why there's this mad scientist, call it weird energy. Was I talking about the word weird before? Meaning being in control of your own destiny? Can't even remember. I'm pretty deep. I'm pretty deep in it right now.
Trying my best here. But this word is a lack or a loss of measure, and thus implies overconfidence.
I'm just going to say. But there's something here about you've been in the lab, you've been drawing up some kind of plan, a schematic, a blue, I love that. A schematic. Let's friggin' go. I love words. There might be something about wordplay here, language. Again, etymology, or you might be a poet, a lyricist. It's like your imagination and your ability to use certain ingredients in your life, like video games or books or that fantastical energy, will really inspire you to speak and write a certain way. See, there you go. He is holding this little book. He's holding the book, guys. See, there's just something about it. But the Professor Oak energy, when it comes through, it says a few things, and that's so funny, because you see we've got the tower on the bottom of the deck here. I'm not even going to use this deck, but I got this Muse Tarot off to the side here, and I got the tower on the bottom of the deck. I didn't notice that. This Professor Oak card, it says, discard your hand, then draw 7 cards. So somebody's going through like a big fresh start here for some of you, like discarding your hand and then drawing 7 new cards. So it's a bit of a tower energy for me, but it really speaks about the beginning of a new journey, because when you drop into Pokemon land, into the Kanto region, okay, and you don't have any Pokemon, this is the guy you got to go see. He's the professor, and he's the guy who sends you off on your journey. So there's some kind of new start here. You may even resonate with the idea of like a complete, what are they called? Chakras? Some kind of alignment in the chakra system here. Again, maybe something to do with the sacral or the root chakra here. But that number 7 brings me into the chakras here. You may be seeing a lot of 76 or 38, 83 might be significant. And this Professor Oak energy leads into the Octillery, the Octopus, and into the Squirtle. So what does this mean, right? Let's unpack this here. I get plus power on the bottom of the deck, right? So you're powering up. Again, a focus on just the stability here. Like this connection that you have to your imagination. Another card fell off the deck here, so we got 4 now. This connection that you have to your imagination in some kind of way, it's acting as a system for you, a navigational system, which is aligning you in some kind of way. You're cultivating more stability in some kind of way here, guys. With the plus power on the bottom of the deck, you might be feeling that energy of like, we're so back. We are so friggin' back. The excitement, the vitality, the inner child is emerging. Okay, so that's on the bottom of the deck. That's kind of the subject here. We got the new start. We got the Professor Oak energy where we're drawing 7 new cards. And then it moves into the Octillery, the Octopus. And when I get the Octillery, it's really speaking to me about control over our emotions, in the way that we can choose where we put our attention and the way that we perceive things. It's this kind of intuitive sense of mental control and sharpness of mind and understanding, like just by it's wisdom, right? By going through so many experiences over and over, and over time, you start to see the value in your imagination. You start to see the things that support and uplift you, and the things that help you cultivate more imagination. Over time, you start to see the things that affect your creativity and your imagination, the things that drain you, or the things that create static in your field so you can't think clearly. And you know how to kind of operate and move, and you know how to think, and you know how to approach the situation in a way that is intelligent. There's wisdom, there's understanding, there's flexibility, there's nuance, there's this technical ability. Just look at him. He's just he's friggin' badass octopus, just whipping up a vortex because he's got the skills. It's like, If you're not feeling creative, you know how to inspire yourself. Get those creative juices flowing. Use the imagination. Use the emotional intelligence and awareness. As somebody who is very connected and intuitive and empathic, and all of the things that come with those skills, being that kind of psychically sensitive person, there's a lot that comes with that. So you need to learn how to cultivate it, manage it, protect it, protect the space. That's what this card is saying. You've been working on your skills. The skill